Good morning. Uh-oh. Good morning. Okay, there we go. Voice is back. I had a little bit of time this morning before I had to go to work, so I thought I would start off my video here. I'm eating oatmeal. Nothing surprising. I'm watching YouTube. Thanks, Beethoven. What am I gonna do today? I don't even know. You guys are coming along for the ride. Okay, bye. So, I take the train, oh fuck, why do I keep doing that? I typically take the train to work every single day. I don't know how much y'all know about Los Angeles, but I live in Highland Park, just like right next to Pasadena, and I work in Santa Monica. Those of you who have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, that means nothing to you, but those of you who do know that that is the worst commute you can have in Los Angeles, I think, of all time. And even though it's only like 14 or 16 miles, I mean, I basically go from all the way on almost as far east as you can get and still be in Los Angeles to basically as far west as you can get. Because of Los Angeles traffic, what would have taken, it's maybe a 25 to 30 minute drive with no traffic, takes about an hour and 20 minutes to do the drive. And it's all just like, I'm sitting here on the highway, I have not gone over 10 miles an hour the whole damn time. So I normally take the train because it does add about 15 to 20 minutes to my commute to take the train, but then I don't have to sit in what is, honest to God, mind-numbing traffic. There is no amount of podcasts in the world that could get me through this commute every single day. So on the train, I can answer emails, respond to comments, that kind of shit is what I usually do on the train. Or watch Netflix, or literally anything that I can't do while I'm driving. I do have to take 3 trains and a bus to get to my office, but it's honestly, it's worth it. Today I'm working a weird hours. Usually I just work, you know, I work 9 to 5, but today I'm working 10:30 to like 7:30, and because I'm just like slightly off of rush hour, the buses and the trains don't come as often, so I was worried about being late to work, so I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna drive. Every time I do this drive, I'm reminding myself why the fuck I don't ever usually do this drive. It is so mind-numbing, and I'm sitting here and I'm realizing I forgot my lunch and I forgot my headphones. Today is gonna suck. Anyway, that's just a little update. In this entire 2.5 minutes I've been talking to you, I've barely moved. 58 minutes to go. I am done with work. Oh my God, you guys, you have no idea. I love my job, but something about sitting in an office all day literally always fucking makes me tired. Oh, normally I would be going home to make dinner, watch TV, and go to bed, but some friends and I are going to see a movie, so that's where I'm going. Okay, bye.
There is an optimal seating place designed in every movie theater.
Yeah.
Typically, obviously in the middle, about 4 or 5 rows from the front.
You wanted to sit all the way down there?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, not right where they are, that first row off the aisle.
Are you sad when you don't get to pick the seats?
I am, because people make bad decisions. Only I make the good decisions
You're the only right person.
in the world.
3 days later.
Hello. I know I'm in my pajamas and I'm just a little bit hungover, but whatever, story of my life, you know what I mean? So a question that I'm asked somewhat regularly is, what is the difference between someone with a full-blown eating disorder and a person who just has a history of chronic dieting? Chronic dieter, I guess. More accurately, that question to me sounds like, what is the difference between someone with an eating disorder and someone with disordered eating? Because chronic dieting is disordered eating. The reason that I consider chronic dieting disordered eating is man, I cannot talk in this video. Oh my God. The reason that I consider chronic dieting disordered eating is because it comes with a lot of disordered red flags, such as your self-worth being determined by the way your body looks, body dysmorphia, exercise addiction, obsessive calorie counting, anxiety around food and only eating certain types of food, inflexible meal times, and a refusal to eat anything you didn't make, like out at restaurants or stuff made by other people. And of course, food restriction and feelings of guilt or failure. And failure. I don't know, both. Honestly, a lot of those are all parts of having an eating disorder, and they're also all things that come with disordered eating. So really, the only difference between having an eating disorder and disordered eating is the level of severity of these obsessions, symptoms. Not sure what the right word is there. Red flags. That's what I called them before, I think. So yeah, the only difference is the degree to which these abnormal and disordered behaviors are taken. And I just want to say that even though the severity might be lower with chronic dieters, it doesn't mean that it's not just as dangerous and just as much of an issue. It's still a major problem. It's still disordered. I'm having major issues with my hair because it's just like a disaster today. Whatever, that's what I look like. Honestly, to be super frank and honest, a chronic dieter is at a really high risk of developing a full-blown eating disorder, or they may already have one and not even know it. And a chronic dieter can also experience, along with all of those obsessions and behaviors that are associated with disordered eating, they also can experience a lot of like the same physical side effects that come with disordered eating and metabolic damage, like gaining weight on restricted calories, osteoporosis, insomnia, feeling really weak and tired. All of these things are stuff that can be experienced by a chronic dieter that is a result of metabolic damage that they've done through these like obsessive and disordered eating patterns. So really, I mean, in my opinion, of course, there is only a very small difference between a disordered eater or chronic dieter and someone with a full-blown eating disorder. And I say that because both can be recovered from and both should be recovered from. I think, and I don't know because everyone's different and it's so hard to just diagnose in a general sense, but for the most part, chronic dieters will have an easier time recovering from, you know, all of the damage they've done once they're willing to do so, because there's not as much of a deep like mental connection, or the same thing as like a mental illness, like anorexia, bulimia, and eating disorders not otherwise specified and binge eating disorder, all like diagnosable eating disorders, are mental illnesses. And being a chronic dieter doesn't necessarily mean that you have that like deep-rooted anxiety and depression. My voice just cracked again. I swear to God, what the fuck is going on with me today? I think what I'm trying to say, Lord knows what I'm trying to say, is that the difference between a chronic dieter and a person with an eating disorder is that their anxiety or depression, either they don't have it or it's not as closely intertwined to their body image issues and need for control over their food and exercise. So physical recovery is possible and mental recovery should come a lot easier. That's what I was trying to say. Getting out of the diet cycle is completely possible. It is hard to get out of the diet cycle, of course. It's hard to unlearn dieting behaviors, especially when they are constantly reinforced by people and society and the media all around us every single day. But it is possible, and getting out of the diet cycle kind of would look something like this. It would involve eating without any restriction or any judgment on yourself or the food that you crave. Allowing your body to eat however much and whatever it's calling out for. Sweets, processed food, fried foods, baked goods, ice cream, whatever. Allowing yourself to eat all of it, allowing yourself to eat whatever it is you want, allowing yourself to eat weird times, allowing yourself to eat a high volume of food, and resting, you know, not allowing the guilt to get to you and trying to purge it through over-exercise or any other means. Just letting your body crave what it wants, give it what it wants, rest and recover your metabolism. And just like any other kind of recovery, weight gain will happen, of course. You'll probably gain a lot more weight than your natural set point is, just because overshoots happen. Even in recovery from chronic dieting, your body is going to cling to as much weight as it possibly can because it doesn't trust you, and it's like, oh shit, I better hold on to as much weight as I can before the next famine. Or that's what your body thinks a diet is. Your body thinks that you're literally in a famine when you go on a diet. So it's like, oh shit, better make sure we cling on to as much weight. But if you just keep letting yourself eat as much as you want, eventually your body will trust you, your hunger cues will return to normal, and your weight will settle back down to its set point, whatever your set point may be. Remember, this weight can be any weight, no judgment, just self-love and body positivity. Eventually, as you continue to eat freely and without judgment, your hunger cues will return to normal, and you will feel more of a connection to your hunger cues and your satiety levels. Is that a word, satiety? Or it's a word and I'm probably saying it wrong. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. And that connection to your hunger and your ability to feel satiated or not, that's something that you completely lose when you go through a diet. And it's something that will eventually come back as you get out of that dieting mentality and diet cycle. I know I said it just moments ago, but I'm gonna say it again. You really need to eliminate all judgments around food. No food is good, no food is bad. Food, as always, is inherently neutral. It's just there to satisfy and nourish you. Food is meant to just be a positive and nourishing experience. And all of these judgments that we place on it are a product of diet culture. And you can watch my entire video on food and guilt for a lot more information on that. So chronic dieting is disordered eating, and just like an actual eating disorder, it can be escaped and recovered from, and it is just as necessary because chronic dieting does involve having metabolic damage that you should recover from. And honestly, although recovery and getting out of that cycle is a long process, just like recovery from an eating disorder, it is so worth it, because once you've escaped, there's nothing that can compare to the freedom and love that you'll feel within yourself. And that's what I gotta say about that. I know a lot of you watch these videos and you say to me that you don't have an eating disorder, you just have like X, Y, and Z, and they are always just kind of chronic dieting, disordered eating type behaviors. And this is my way of reaching out and saying that your concerns and your issues are just as valid and can and will be recovered from in a very similar way. Thank you so much for watching my videos. If you're new here, hello, my name is Rachel. This is Ladle by Ladle. I make videos on body positivity, self-love, intuitive eating, and veganism, and I would love to have you with me, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you are interested in having a more one-on-one personalized mentorship relationship with me, then you can check out my Patreon program down below. That is how I connect with you on a more personal level, so if that's something you're interested in, make sure you check it out. And lastly, if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys on Wednesday. Bye!